Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Cynthia, I'm the fishing mommy, and today I am going to do something really cool and exciting for me. This is an unboxing of some saltwater fishing gear from Karl's Bait and Tackle, and also at the same time a mystery tackle box pro for saltwater. So if you guys watch my channel regularly, and if you're a subscriber for a long time, you'll know that every summer I try to get back down to Florida, which is my home state, and do some fishing. I really love taking my kayak out in those marshes and targeting redfish, flounder, speckled trout, and all of those inshore species. I'm not super experienced at it, obviously, because I live 1,000 miles away, but I go ahead and do that kind of fishing as often as I can, and I really enjoy it. It's honestly probably my favorite kind of fishing. So I'm gearing up for my trip, and I placed a pretty big order at Karl's. And as I mentioned, I have an MTB Pro saltwater box as well. So I'm going to be unboxing both of these big boxes here and show you guys everything that I'm buying to take with me to Florida. Now I should say it's not everything I'm buying, because I do have a couple of other baits that are on their way as well, but this is the majority of the stuff. So without further ado, let's get into it. We're going to start with Karl's, and let's see what we've got. Wow, this thing is chock full. It's not like a little tiny thing. Just so you guys know, this is not a sponsored video. I paid for all of these items with my own money, and I'm not being compensated to talk about them. This is my honest opinions about each one of these lures, and so I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you stick around for the whole video. Oh yeah, I wanted to say one more thing. Just in case you're wondering why I haven't been posting fishing videos, I'm trying. I've gone out and tried to record like 3 or 4 times and just haven't been able to put a video together for you guys. I didn't really think you wanted to see me pedaling around for hours and only catching a few fish. So that's the reason I haven't been posting fishing videos. It is midsummer here, it's hot, and when it's not blazing hot, it is thunderstorming, and I've just been having trouble connecting with fish. So anyway, back to the tackle video. Okay, so the first thing on top of the box is these Zman baits. These are scented jerk shads. I got Pearl, which is sort of the classic white fluke style bait. And then I also got Smoky Shad, which really looks very mullety. So both of these lures are scented jerk shads from Zman. I love Zman plastics because they are tough as nails. They stretch like crazy, and little snappers or pufferfish aren't going to bite off your tail very often when you're using Zman. So I got a bunch of packs of these. These are the scented jerk shads in 2 different colors. And the way I rig these is generally either on a belly weighted hook or on a jig head, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes. So that's the first thing, scented jerk shads from Zman, and these are just absolutely phenomenal. By the way, for bass fishing people, these white flukes are one of my big go-tos as well for bass, especially in a shad lake. Moving on, what else do we have? Okay, so as I mentioned, I like to use jig heads for those, and so I stocked up on a few swim bait jig heads. Now, these are a little bit different from what I usually use in saltwater. Most of the time I'm going to be using redfish eyes or trout eyes jig heads, but I wanted to give these VMC swim bait jig heads a try in the salt as well, because I've had good success with them in freshwater. The reason I like this and wanted to try these is because they have a much longer shank, as you see. And so I feel like that longer shank might be really great for any potentially short striking fish. So I'm gonna try these on those flukes. This is going to be the rig right here. So that is a fluke rig, and that is not a paddle tail. That's a fluke. It's a little bit more of a finesse presentation. I got a variety of these next item. This is a bucktail jig. Now, if you fish salt at all, you'll know that these are kind of a standby. And these are the salt native ones. They're really cool. They have some extra cool features. The shape of the actual jig head itself, I'm gonna take this out and show it to you guys. The shape of the actual jig head itself is really interesting because it's more like a bullet shape than most. And it's also got these little, I don't know how to describe this, but the shaping here on the mold is really interesting. I feel like that's going to give this a more erratic action in the water. And then it's got a little dorsal fin that I think is cute. I'm not sure if it does anything. But I got a couple of 1/4 ounce jig heads. These hooks look fantastic. I love the angle of that hook. The hook point is slightly angled up, which is a really, really great feature on any jig head. I think that's fantastic. So I've got some hair jigs, and I got a couple in the 1/4 ounce size, which I find is probably the most versatile. A lot of times I like to rig these with a little strip of natural bait on the back of it. So that might be a salted clam or a shrimp, something like that on the back, just to add some scent and flavor. So I got a couple of those in 1/4 ounce size, as I said. And then I got a 1 ounce size. And this is a great size for a little bit deeper water. And then I got the big mama, the 2 ounce size, and that is going to be good in the surf. It's still a little light for some surf applications, but in a calmer surf setting, this is going to be great. So those were Salt Native as well, as you can see, and they are just called the Salt Native Bucktail Jig. And these were designed in collaboration with Lawson Lindsay, who is definitely one of my favorite YouTubers. Shout out to Lawson. Congrats on your new baby. And I really love this packaging. I love the design of the product itself. And of course, you cannot go wrong with a bucktail jig in salt. The next thing that I purchased is called the Skelly Shrimp, also a Lawson Lindsay collaboration. This one, what's this color called? This is called Spiked Root Beer. I like that. It is a root beer color with a chartreuse tail. It's got a belly weighted hook. I don't know if you can see that in there. Let me take this out. Okay, there you go. You can see the belly weighted hook and how that hook sort of buries into the body of the plastic. Another really unique thing about these baits is that there's actually a mesh strip that runs through the middle of this plastic. So that's going to really increase the durability of this bait as well. I think this is a great looking shrimp. I have definitely seen lots of people catching great fish on these. So I'm very excited to try it out for myself. And as I mentioned, I got a couple of these. I think I got 2 of this color, and then I got 2 of another color. I'll show you in 1 second. This is the other color, Glitter Balm, and it's kind of a clear body with gold glitter. So these are the 2 colors that I got, Glitter Balm and Spiked Root Beer, and those are the Skelly Shrimp. Really, really exciting bait. Looking forward to those. And then the last thing in my Karl's box is a couple of colors of a classic paddle tail. Now again, these are Salt Native, and this is called the Skelly Swim, and they are a ribbed paddle tail bait. I really love the profile of these because they're a little bit slimmer and kind of long, and then there's a large paddle on that paddle tail, and then of course it's ribbed, as I mentioned. These are fantastic for rigging either on a belly weighted swim bait hook or on a jig head, very much like the flukes as well. These are awesome. You could also use them as trailers, but I personally love to use these on jig heads. This is a little bit more of a power fishing lure as opposed to the flukes that are a little bit more finessey. So use your best judgment, of course. And this color is mullet, and you can see why. These are about 3.5 inches long, by the way. And then the second color I got was similar to that shrimp. This is called Glitter Balm, and it is, again, a gold glitter. So I got a couple packs of each of these, there you go, of the 2 colors, and I'm really excited about these. So that's going to do it for the Shop Karl's box. I'm going to put everything back in there now, and we're going to move to the mystery tackle box to see what we have in there. Next up is the Mystery Tackle Box Pro in Saltwater Edition. So this is, let's see, the first thing we have in the box is popping corks. Popping corks are an old classic standby for a reason. You can put a either a live or dead shrimp underneath these. You can put a shrimp lure underneath them. They are just really deadly in saltwater. Very, very classic lure. As you can hear, nice and rattly. So that is the first thing, popping corks. Next up, I mentioned shrimp. Here's a shrimp-like lure. This is a big bite, saltwater baits, and this is called a 4-inch shrimp tail. Pretty self-explanatory. It's in pearl and chartreuse. So there you go, there's that. This is a full package, it's a 6 count. And these are interesting because they're just kind of a flat front. I don't know if you can see that very well, but those will look great on a jig head. They'll be great on a swim bait hook. And of course they'll work really well under a popping cork as well. So those are awesome. Next up, heavy duty leaders. There's a couple of 6-inch leaders and a couple of 9-inch leaders. There's actually 8 leaders in here, wire leaders. So these are bite leaders. These are great for any kind of toothy fish if you're fishing in any areas where there are like barracudas in the south or bluefish up here in the north. Really useful to have. Next up, another soft plastic. This is a smaller scale paddle tail, and this is from B&H. This is a 3-inch Cocoa minnow, and the color is electric chicken. So it is kind of a bright green and bright pink if you're not familiar with electric chicken. Again, a full pack. These are a great little profile. A smaller lure than the Skelly swims, and nice firm plastic. They just smell like plastic. They're not scented as far as I can tell. But these look great. I'm curious about electric chicken. It feels like that would be great in low visibility areas. We have 2 hard baits in this box. The first one is a Balmer Lures jointed wake minnow. This thing looks amazing. This is definitely going to be for those bigger bites. But I am really excited to throw this once I get into some bigger water. Like, I wouldn't necessarily throw this in the marshes except for maybe early in the morning, but definitely like in the intercoastal, on those bigger channels. This bomber lure is 5 inches long and it's 3/4 ounces. So they're not kidding when they say bomber. I might actually try this one in the surf as well if I get a chance. This next one is Events Lures. It's called El Dinamico, and it's a floating stick bait. I think this is actually like considered a topwater lure. But what's actually really interesting about it is that it's some partnership with a sports team that I'm not really familiar with. It's got a nice deep rattle in it. Definitely a mullety look from the bottom. My apologies for Marco Scutaro, who I don't know who that is, but he is apparently some sports ball guy. Sorry, Marco, but regardless, this lure looks really, really great for early morning top waters, and I have a feeling I'm going to catch some trout on this. So this is pretty good stuff. I'm excited about it. So that is the Inshore Saltwater Box, Mystery Tackle Box. There's the card right there, and you've seen everything in the card today. And that's going to do it for my saltwater haul for this summer. Leave a comment down below if you think that I'm missing some stuff that I should have. Just so you know, I do already have some existing saltwater tackle, of course. I know this looks very soft plastic heavy. That's because that's what I just didn't have a lot of. I do have some other lures. I have some SP minnows. I definitely have some spooks and things like that. But I just wanted to show you today what I got from Karl's Bait and Tackle and from Mystery Tackle Box that is going to take me down to the saltwater in style. And thank you so much for watching. If you're not already subscribed, please take just one quick second, hit that subscribe bell, turn it from red to gray, and you can always unsubscribe later if you want to. It's free, it doesn't cost you anything, but I do lots of unboxings, gear reviews, and of course fishing content as well. So please do watch along with me as I'm headed down to Florida with the family. We're going to be doing a lot of fun things, and we can't wait to have you along with us. Thanks again, and we'll catch you later.